Hello, my most amazing artists. I'm so sorry that I can't be there with you today to start your clay projects. So instead of redoing what you did last week with your clay cupcake plan, today you're going to get to try the challenge of drawing what 5th grade is doing, which is the cakes and the 3D cakes like Wayne Thiebaud does. So you're going to have that flipped over version of your guide from last week, which is how to draw a 3D cake. Just remember to sketch very, very lightly on your paper, because the lighter you sketch, the more lines you'll be able to build up and make it look 3D without having to worry about erasing. Because if you draw light with feather light lines, the more lines you add on there, then it just looks better and better, the more you build it up and get that 3D shape. So that guide has that step-by-step drawing. If you want to add whipped cream on the top, you can. That was just an example. You could totally turn it into, say, like berries, like I am doing, or you could add dripping frosting. It could become a piece of pie, just like that guide kind of shows you how to make the pie crust. So use that as just a base to make the shape of the triangular prism, and then from there, you can personalize it and make it your own. It could be a slice of pie, it could be a slice of pizza pie, it could be cheese, like a block of cheese, whatever you want that's that shape. Attempt to draw it today and then use oil pastels to color. Now, we talked about with your cupcakes how you can use oil pastels to get a realistic 3D effect by layering the oil pastels. Instead of just drawing one flat color or coloring with one flat color, adding many colors on top is going to create that more 3D realistic look. So on top of the red strawberry, I added white to blend it together and make it look more like a painted effect, more like a realistic food. I added my seeds on the strawberry. On a blueberry, I start out with dark blue, but then I'm going to go back on top of my dark blue circle and add things like a white highlight. Maybe I'll go back and add some light blue, and then maybe I'll go back and add some gray or some black as the shadow. So there could be 3, 4, or 5 colors in just one item, like a blueberry. You would think of just coloring it blue usually, but really think about all the colors that could go into it to make it look more realistic and include highlights and shadows on there by creating the lighter version of the colors in some area by adding white, and creating the darker version by either adding a darker version of that color or adding black to it. So even with the chocolate frosting, I'm coloring here, dripping down my yummy looking cake. I'm going to go on top of that chocolate frosting with my white oil pastel. Maybe I'll use that tan peachy color. Anything is going to, I think I'm using the tan peachy color. Anything is going to make it look more frosting like and more yummy and edible looking. Then I go back and add a little bit of that shadow on the side where there would be a shadow. Remember, shadows are usually just on one side, so you pick the right or the left wherever your sun or light source is coming from. So I'm picking that the sun's coming from the right or the light source is, so my shadow is going to be on the left, and then I'm going to color the cake in. Same thing with the cake. You can come up with different layers. You can make this a rainbow layered cake. You can make it a 7-layer cake, a 10-layer cake. It could be just pie where you have apples on the sides, or it could be it's all frosted. Or maybe you're making this a themed cake where you could design it with your favorite video game character, or it could be a unicorn slice of cake. It could be whatever you want, your favorite candy, a Skittles cake. You could add cookies and cream to it and make Oreo cookies on top. This is all about whatever you want. But think about the layers. What would the frosting or layers be inside? So maybe I decide to add some red to add a raspberry layer here, since it's kind of like a chocolate berry cake. Then maybe I add another layer of extra chocolate in there. So the more that I add to it, the more interesting and more delicious it's going to look. When I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead again with my white oil pastel and blend. When I blend with the white oil pastel, I'm not just going in random directions. I'm following the same direction that I colored with originally. If I were to just color all over and scribble scrabble with the white, it's just going to blend all the colors together. The brown icing is going to start to mix with the cake. It's going to get a mess. So I am being careful when I blend. Then I make the shadow by drawing this oval shape behind the slice of cake or pie, and then I'm going to color it with dark blue. Wayne Thiebaud in his artwork usually uses dark blue for the shadows, but if you wanted to use gray or use a pencil to do this or use black, oil pastel, you are more than welcome. Have fun, artists, and don't forget you can upload to Artsonia when you're done if you have time. If not, it's no big deal. You can take these home today.